Hello everyone, welcome back to another IT support lab. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the Windows Device Manager to inspect a network adapter and verify that it's working properly. So what's Device Manager? Device Manager is one of the first tools an IT support technician opens whenever a user reports a hardware or network problem, because it tells us whether Windows can actually recognize the hardware before we start troubleshooting anything else. So that being said, let's get started. So on your computer, you hold on to the Windows button plus X. So Windows plus X. So over here you can see the device manager. So talking about device manager, think of device manager as a window inventory for hardware. Every piece of hardware that is installed on the computer is listed here and grouped. Yes. So every piece of hardware that is installed on this computer is listed here and grouped into category, as you can see. For example, if I want to troubleshoot a keyboard, I would look under keyboards. If I want to troubleshoot a monitor, I will look under monitors. You can see. But since today's lab is about the network connection, I'm going to expand network adapter, which is here. So if you look very well where my cursor is, you're going to see a very small arrow pointing towards the network adapter. You click on it to expand the network adapter. So here I can see the network adapter that is installed in my computer. So mine is Intel 8574L gigabyte network connection. So let me explain what this means. So the Intel is a company that manufactures the physical network adapter. Why the number you see is simply the model number of the adapter, okay? Then, and the gigabyte network connection means that the adapter is designed to support network speed of up to 1 gigabyte per second or 1000 megabytes per second under the right condition. So for my computer, that I'm saying Intel, your computer could show a different manufacturer or a model or a different model, and that's completely normal. So it differs based on the kind of Windows you're using, okay, kind of computer you're using. So that being said, we're going to right click on this and we open properties, which takes us into another tab. So this tab that open right here is where the window gives more detailed information about the device. Instead of guessing what's wrong, we can inspect through this tab. We inspect the hardware and collect information before making any changes. So that's how a good IT support technician actually troubleshoots. First of all, come here if it's a network issue though. So currently we are in the general tab. So at the top of this place, you can see the name of the you can see the name of the device again. Just below that window shows the device type, the manufacturer, and the location. So the device type, as you can see, is network adapters, and the manufacturer is Intel Corporation. That is the company that builds the physical hardware. Then you can also see the location field. So the location actually tells where the Windows is connected internally on the computer motherboard. So most of the time, we don't need to worry about the numbers here, but they are useful when it comes to like advanced troubleshooting. So now let's look at the most important part of this tab, which is the device status. My said this device is working properly, which is a good thing. So first, this is the first place you check as an IT technician, because it tells whether the window recognizes the hardware and doesn't detect any problem with it. If I would have seen an error message here, it will immediately tell me the hardware. It would immediately tell me the hardware or its drive or each drive needs further investigation. So you tell me like, okay, the hardware or the driver needs further investigation, and we will know where to investigate. So next we'll go to the drivers tab. So this tab actually shows information about the software the window is using to communicate with the hardware. So one common thing people often get confused over this tab is that sometimes people think the hardware manufacturer, people confuse the hardware manufacturer with the driver provider. So now let me explain the difference. Earlier we saw the manufacturer, which is Intel, right? Intel built the physical network adapter. Here, the driver provider here is Microsoft. That doesn't mean Microsoft made the hardware, no. It means Windows is currently using a driver provided by Microsoft to communicate with the Intel network adapter. So let's think of the driver as a translator. The hardware speaks one language and the Windows speaks another. So now the work of the driver is to allow them communicate with each other properly. So just underneath it, we can see the driver's dates, the driver version. So all this information here becomes useful when troubleshooting hardware issue or checking whether a driver update is needed. And one important thing that I want to talk about is that I wouldn't update a driver simply because it's old. If a driver is working completely, right, I would first investigate whether there's actually a problem. Driver updates are normally installed to fix bugs, to improve compatibility, or address security issue, not just because there's a newer version we should jump in and update, or you get. So it's not because we have like a newer version doesn't mean that automatically we need to update. If there's nothing wrong with the drive, we can hold on. The only time we can maybe update it is maybe, like I said earlier, to fix a bug or if there's a security issue. Okay, now finally let's check the detail tab. This tab contains information. It contains information about the technical part of the hardware. For example, if I select the hardware ID, so there's a drop down here, as you can see, little arrow. So if I select the hardware ID, Windows display unique identifiers for this device. IT technicians often use this ID when Windows can't identify a device or when they need to download the correct driver for from the manufacturer, rather. Sorry. So the thing is, you probably might not use this every day, but it is valuable troubleshooting resource to know about. Okay, it's not might not be an everyday troubleshooting problem like what you want to troubleshoot might not come here every day, but it's very very important resource for troubleshooting. Okay, so now I inspected a network adapter using drive device manager. Before making any change, I have confirmed that the window recognizes the hardware, verify the device, verify the device is working properly, reviewed the installed driver information, and looked at the additional hardware details. Gathering this information first helps me troubleshoot um help me troubleshoot well instead of just making unnecessary changes. So that being said, that's it for today's IT support lab. I hope this workshop help you understand not only where to click, but also why these different sections matters during troubleshooting. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. You can also find the complete GitHub documentation link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next IT support lab.